Lovely. We are live on YouTube and another minute to go. But talking about mangoes, Vivek, are you the sherry langda or वो कौन सा होता है वो सफेदा चौसा guy? What type
I
of
am a
mango do you like?
langda. Langda is my favorite and chausa number 2.
Same here. Wonderful. Right. So that's something that you get better in Chandigarh than Himachal. Otherwise, we always love teasing Vivek on how warm the weather is. It's 3:30. We have 85 odd participants on Zoom and another 100 right now on YouTube. So if you allow me, sir, can we start?
Yeah, please go ahead. Go ahead, please.
Wonderful. So good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon and welcome to Ideas That Matter, a series of webinars by Shulini University, Kasoli Hills, Solan, Himachal Pradesh. I welcome Vivek Atray sir, Guleria sir, and Bhatnagar sir to this wonderful discussion. The idea behind Ideas That Matter came about by the thought that in these tough times, there is a need to inspire each other. It's important to inspire each other because we're going through tough times and the negative thoughts that keep coming in our mind. And in turn, we need to inspire our students. So this is now the 44th episode of Ideas That Matter. We have covered around 30,000 teachers across India, mostly in North India, but we've gone as far as Calcutta, Vivek and I, and it's been a wonderful, wonderful experience so far. We truly look forward to today speak to your school and to your schools, I would say, and make it a wonderful and exciting moment. A quick introduction to Vivek. Vivek is an ex-IAS officer. One of his moments of glory, apart from many, many others, was helping shape and build the IT park in Chandigarh that he led. He's a TEDx speaker, a motivational speaker, an author of 3 books. But as I always say, most importantly to me, a very dear friend and a friend of Shulini, a professor at Shulini University, and we see him very, very often here. But for times of COVID, when me and Vivek every day meet on Zoom every day. Introduction to me, my name is Atul Khosla. I'm one of the founders and Pro-Vice Chancellor of Shulini University, Kasoli Hills, Solan. I'm a BTech from IIT Kanpur and then did my MBA from Bajaj, Bombay. 25 odd years in the industry, 7 different countries, 35 different cities. I was the CEO of a very large multinational consulting firm called Oliver Wyman when the teaching bug hit me and I said I have to come back and make Himachal students successful, and that's the only purpose and passion I have as of now. I love teaching like all of you teachers. I'm so proud to call myself a teacher. So welcome once again to Ideas That Matter. Before we start, I'll request Bhatnagar sir to speak for a little bit and we will then hand it over to Vivek Atray. Vivek Atray and I will then take you through 35 odd minutes of a lecture to motivate you, take you through our learnings that we've had talking to many, many teachers across India and the world. And we will then get into question and answers. So please don't hesitate to ask any questions or just chat with us. Over to you, Bhatnagar sir, and then we'll request Vivek sir to start.
Very good afternoon, Khosla Saab. Thank you very much, first of all, giving me the opportunity. The outset.
You're all set, sir.
I express my heartiest gratitude and thanks to you, especially giving me an opportunity to be on the screen today, along with all the magnates. Pro-Vice Chancellor, Mr. Khosla, Mr. Vivek, rest all other speakers, Kamal. Myself, G.K. Bhattagar, having experience of 30 years with DAV organization as principal, and presently I'm looking after as AR of 10 schools of Himachal. Today's, when I read the review of the Finding Success Within of Mr. Vivek Atray, I really realized that the book which he had written on a very subtle topic. As you know, that life is, the full of practical problems. And we look in and around today, in the changing scenario of the global economic disaster. I will call it a global economic disaster, especially the COVID-19. When we are trying to establish ourselves, when we are trying to just put ourselves somewhere in the firmament, it appears that the life skills, they are very, very important. They are very important to be a global citizen today. Because gone are the days Well, students, they were only the part and parcel of one institution. But today they have to travel from one linguistic world to another linguistic world to interact with the different religion, different caste, different creeds, different people, a different kind of, the generation. So if these life skills, if they are not strengthened, they are not empowered, they are not looked after. So I feel that the particular child, the particular individual, the particular student remains a raw material. I hope by a little concentric, a little, the concern about the life skill, especially, I am very happy that the way you have told me that you are the top university of India, especially in Himachal. You were telling me that the Himachali children, they are no doubt that they are little shy, but they have a lot of potential, they have a lot of energy, and they have a lot of positive energy. So bringing us on this platform, I am very sure that with our thoughts and with our views and with our ideas, because today in today's world, it is only the idea they are working behind it. And your idea will definitely help us to change their dream into reality. Atulji, I will not take much time because you have already budgeted the time 1 minute. So I hope my 1 minute time is over. Even then, I want that the children, especially your students, our students, students of Himachal, all students, their inner skill must be chiseled, must be spearheaded, so that they should become not only the local, not only the national, but they should be the international citizens. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Bhatnagarji, what wonderful thoughts. I can assure you that every Himachali student is out there aspiring to be the best in the world. I can definitely tell you about our students and so many others that I look at. But you said such beautiful things. I'd love to get you and Guleria sir onto a panel discussion and Q&A post Vivek Atray and my talk. Over to you, Vivek, for your next 30-35 minutes. And as always, I'll come back in between as you give me the cue. Vivek Atray for you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Professor Atul Khosla, and thank you very much for organizing this series of webinars and reaching out to schools. And thank you, Bhatnagarji, for those warm and kind words, and very visionary also in what you said. And congratulations again to the team of Shulini for wonderful rankings just discovered and just declared. I'm very happy to be speaking to DAV schools, and I believe that more than 100 participants are already there on Zoom and many more on YouTube. So all of you, greetings to you and namaskar, and it's nice to meet you. And I must also tell you that DAVs have inspired me always, because I have been going to various institutions of DAV and speaking even during my IAS career and after resigning also. I resigned 2.5 years ago to become a motivational speaker and to go all over India to speak to students, teachers, government officials, and corporates. I am a visiting professor at Shulini University and advisor at Shulini, and I find it a joy and privilege to be teaching and speaking and advising and looking after a few things. And also, I'm so glad that the perception of Shulini has been enhanced to such a great level now. So, Bhatnagarji, I'll pick up two things that you said. One is that Himachal students or Indian students have to be global citizens today. And secondly, you mentioned positive energy, which is my favorite topic, wonderful topic to speak on. And of course, the topic of the day overall is finding success within. So what is success, first of all? Success is something which gives us happiness. If success does not give us happiness, it is not success. It is only a materialistic achievement. So success which gives true happiness is true success. And if you look at it, success could come from a kind word by a neighbor or an elderly person or a teacher or a student who appreciated us for what we are doing. If I am a teacher in a school and after 20 years of teaching, suddenly one child comes to me and says, "Sir or ma'am, this is really you are my favorite teacher, or you are someone who I look up to." So this is something that you will really enjoy, even if you are a teacher for 20 years. You will find that this is something that gives you success, because that true recognition and praise that you achieve or receive, that is something unparalleled. And if you are a student, then the teacher has said something nice to you in class and said, good luck, and you have done very well, and I have high hopes from you, or you're a good boy or a good girl. That is also success for the student, because the teacher has recognized the potential. So I would say that success comes from various ways, but ultimately success comes from within. And you spoke of positive energy. Positive energy is something that will give you success, because you are always looking at the positives of life. And if you look at one word which helps us, it is gratitude. Gratitude is gratefulness, thankfulness, being thankful for what we have. Those who are thankful for what they have and not always complaining, I don't have this, I don't have that, that is something that is really, really important in life. To be grateful for what you have, to be aware of all the good things, good people, and you have a secure job, you have a salary. It is good enough for you. If you want to become better and bigger and more successful, it's okay. No harm in wanting to aspire and be ambitious for more. But we should be content with whatever we have and be grateful for it. I will start off with the story of Arthur Ashe. It's been a long time. I don't think in this webinar series we have even discussed the story of Arthur Ashe. So in Arthur Ashe's story, Arthur Ashe was a very, very famous tennis player. He won Wimbledon in the 1970s. He was the first black male tennis player to win Wimbledon. He was on top of the world when he won Wimbledon tennis. You know, it is the biggest tournament in the world. And when he won Wimbledon, fans after fan, they congratulated him. Now, Arthur Ashe, unfortunately, after a few years or maybe more years, he fell ill. And he was seriously ill, and unfortunately, he was dying. Ultimately, he also passed away of that illness. So when he was dying, he received a lot of letters from his fans all across the world, well-wishers. They said, Arthur, why is this happening to you? Why not to somebody else? And Arthur Ashe wrote longhand back to everybody. And that time we used to write letters by hand, no email, no WhatsApp, no SMS. He wrote letters back, and to a fan who said, why is this happening to you? Why not to somebody else? He wrote back. He says, when I won Wimbledon, I realized that millions of players play tennis all over the world. Thousands of players become professionals. 128 men and 128 women actually play Wimbledon every year, and doubles, mixed doubles, etc. extra. Out of 128 men, 64 reach the second round, 32 reach the third round, 16 people reach the fourth round. I'm sure the maths teachers will agree with me that my maths is good. 16 reach the fourth round, 8 reach the quarterfinals, 4 reach the semifinals. 2 people reach the final of Wimbledon every year. 1 person wins. He says, I was that person who won Wimbledon out of these million players who want to win. And he says, when I won Wimbledon, I didn't say to God, God, why is this happening to me? I did not say that to God. I accepted it. Now when I am ill and dying, why should I say to God, God, why is this happening to me? When good things happen to me, then I should accept them as coming from God. When bad things happen to me, then also I should accept them as coming from God. So he says that this is the way to live. Even while dying, he taught us a lesson that we should be grateful for what we have. And success means the ability to be grateful, to be cheerful, to be positive, to be happy and balanced, even when things are difficult or low or going down. That is also a time when most people are tested. Nobody's life is totally smooth. We heard about the crisis from Mr. Bhatnagar, the global crisis. Everybody is affected. It is equally affecting everybody. Some people more than others, yes. But if two people are affected the same way, why should one be crying more than others? Why should one person be more scared, worried, and depressed than the other person when the pandemic is affecting everybody the same way? So if we look at it, it depends on our attitude. If worry is there within our minds and hearts, it is a break. It is a negativity. If criticism is our nature, criticizing everybody under the sun, criticizing the government, the politics, the leaders, the school teachers, the students, the parents, the electricity department, municipality, cricket team, movies, food, you are criticizing everything all the time, then who is at fault? Before I request Atul to take over, I'll tell you a small joke. There was this young, not so young lady driving, it could have been a man. It was a young lady driving home and long drive, and she calls up her husband from in fact, the husband calls her up on the mobile. He says, be careful, on TV they are showing that there is one person who is driving on the wrong side in the main road of the town. So she tells him, no, it's not one person driving on the wrong side. All of them are driving on the wrong side. So now we know who is the person who is at fault. Over to you, Atul. Atul is going to show us a beautiful video of research by Shulini, and please add your views as well.
Thank you very much, Vivek. What wonderful thoughts. I'd just like to add over here, being a Himachali student myself and everyone here from Himachal, is that Himachal students are second to none, like Bhatnagar sir said. What they really need is, in my opinion, three things. They need great leadership from teachers like you. They need to think outside the box and be fearless in thinking that way. And they need creativity. I think if all of these three things come together, magic happens. And mind you, I did not talk about knowledge over here, because knowledge is today available at the press of a button. You can go to Wikipedia, you can go to Google. Happiness, of course, becomes a very, very important part of success. I remember when I went to business school, when I was doing my MBA, people would say that if you're successful, you will be happy. In fact, my father came to me when I was in my 12th and said, Atul, prepare for IIT. If you get into IIT, you'll be a very happy man. Vivek, at Harvard University, there's new research which is done. And the research says that it is happy people who are successful. Happy people are most likely to live beyond 80 years. Lonely people are most likely to get very ill by the time they are 60 years old. So being happy is also very, very critical for you to be successful. Creativity, leadership, and innovation that you as teachers can give to your students. I would like to bring over here an example, a case study of a student of ours. Her name is Aman. Aman was not a very good student in school, nor was she a great student in her BTech or MTech. But some magic happened when she got into PhD. She has won something called the Young Water Fellow. More than 100,000 researchers across the world every year apply for this award. And Aman won this award, spent 3 months in Geneva, Switzerland as part of the award, the fellowship, and then came back to India to again win the Tata Trust Award of 25 lakh rupees. So what made Aman so successful? It was leadership from her guide, and I would say complete thinking outside the box and creativity into the problem. What the problem was, I'm going to show you through a small video. I'm sure you'll get goose pimples, all of you. We'll then get back into discussing Aman. If you allow me, Vivek, can I play the video?
Sure, please.
Aman's discovery is path-breaking. Who knows, she might even win the Nobel Prize someday. Like I said, this type of success comes through creativity, imagination, and amazing leadership. But this is not just the story of Aman. This is the story of lots and lots of people and students who are studying at Shulini. I'm very glad to state, Vivek, that Shulini today is the #1 patent filer in the country. We file more patents than even the IITs. IIT Chennai today became the #1 university of the country. But Shulini files more patents than IIT Chennai students. And that's a humongous achievement. Shulini today, and the results were just out of Government of India rankings. We were ranked as Himachal's #1 university, way ahead of HP University or JP, and amongst the top 5 universities of North India. So all of this comes through love. I'm going to talk a little bit about, this love, where it comes from. But before that, I'd like to congratulate all of you teachers. I know all of you are Corona warriors. All of you have ensured that not a single day of teaching is lost. You've been true leaders to your students. And I'm sure this is what brings huge amount of success and happiness to the parents and students. And you'll see your students be very, very successful. I have no doubt about it. Over to you, Vivek. Atray.
Thank you, Atul. Thank you. Wonderful words. And let me now talk about you teachers specifically. I was talking about how success matters, what is success, what should be our attitude. Now, teachers, what should they look for in their careers? They should, of course, look for salary and promotion and becoming senior. That's fine. One day we all have to retire, all of us. And when we retire, then we should be content that we gave our best to the institution. We should feel happy and content that we did our best. What is our best? Our best is basically churning out, making personalities from schools who will be good citizens of India. Whether we are talking about teaching history or geography or physics or maths, it doesn't matter that much. Atul already said that knowledge and know-how is one part of it. It is available. But personalities who can inspire, personalities who take the world by storm. I have a quote: it is not important to get marks, it is important to make a mark. Making a mark in life is more important than as many marks as you can get. Because ultimately, no one will remember that. They will remember how your life was overall. So in my view, it is important for you teachers to be absolutely positive in your work, to keep yourself motivated. And when you're motivated, then every day, even after 25 years of working, you will go to school with some energy. You may have problems at home, you may have problems of something else. It is important to know that these problems will be a part of life. And yet we have to be serious, and we have to be dedicated, and we have to be enthusiastic. So it is very important for us to keep on keeping on. Yes, there is a book, Autobiography of a Yogi, and it is a wonderful book. I must show it to you. This is a book on spirituality. It is a book by Paramhansa Yogananda. You have seen it, many of you. I know you have even read it. Some of you may have read it. In this book, the guru's guru is Swami Shri Yukteswarji, and Yukteswarji's guru is Lahiri Mahasaya. And Lahiri Mahasaya has a quote saying, "Banat banat banjai," which is a simple quote. Banat banat banjai means lage raho aur ek din ban jayega, which means keep on keeping on, which means persistence is the key to success. So what is success? Success is basically finding deep within ourselves that which gives us happiness and going in that route. Number two, finding those moments of joy which give us happiness from real life. Somebody said some good words, somebody smiled, somebody respected us, somebody praised us. Authority is not as important as respect. Those who think that today I will become this, I will become that. I was an IAS officer. I resigned because I knew that I can do more for society in the next 10 years before I would have retired. In 10 years, I would have done many, many more contact programs, webinars, sessions, inspirational talks than I would have done in the IAS. And I knew that I have done 25 years of service and I'm happy with what I've achieved. I think for me, authority was not as important as respect. If you look at respect, a teacher has a lot of respect from all the students who have been taught. And if those students remember that teacher and they come up or they meet or whenever they meet, they say, Sir, aapne bada acha padhaya. I remember that story. I remember you taught us this. I used to admire you so much. This is success for a teacher. Whatever salary or whatever promotion you have got or whatever certificate you have got, that is subsidiary, secondary to true respect that you earn. And that is the success that everybody will earn. But ultimately, success comes from within, which means that we have to find that inner peace, that inner contentment, that inner joy, that inner happiness, which will lead us to true success. Being the richest man or the most powerful man is not going to give us happiness unless we have that happiness within. So reading this autobiography of a yogi might also be a good idea for you. I have learned a lot of it from there. And I have learned that the bigger picture of life matters. How we meditate, how we develop our soul qualities also matters. It is a body, mind, and soul game. We are body, mind, and soul. We have to nurture our soul, not only going to the mandir or gurdwara and praying, but we also have to sit and meditate, contemplate, introspect, and try and find out what are our flaws, what are our errors and mistakes in life, what are our shortcomings, can we improve them? Maybe anger is one of the problems. Anger can be improved if we work on it, if we are dedicated and we realize that this is something we need to improve. So all these things will matter to you, and be careful of how you approach your job in this time of crisis, this COVID. It is very easy for us to lose our mental peace of mind, but those who are able to maintain it, those who are able to stay positive despite all the problems, they win the battle of life. The battle of life is ultimately fought in the mind, and this mind plays tricks on us. The mind keeps on telling us wrong things, and the mind keeps telling us right things. We have to make sure that the right things win the battle. And we also have to make sure that we stay cheerful to others and appear cheerful to others, because our company will then be a company of joy for others. And we should also avoid company which is not giving us joy. If somebody is a neighbor or a friend and keeps on criticizing others, try and avoid that person as much as you can. Of course, if that person is in your home and family, you can't avoid him or her, but you can at least not be like that yourself. So this is true success. All the riches and all the accolades and all the fame in the world are temporary. They will go away. And I will end with a story of a monk who came and sat near a village and used to sit and meditate every day for 24 hours. They never saw him sleeping. He was always meditating. And this monk used to be given some food by the villagers. And one day a man comes to him from the village and says, I don't need your blessings. I need your diamond. You have a diamond, I have heard, which is very expensive. And this monk takes out the diamond and gives it to him. And the man is very surprised. He said, just like that, I should take it away. Yeah, he says, it's your diamond now. You go with it. This man is very surprised. He says, he goes. In 1 week, he comes back. And this monk is smiling. This man comes back and gives him back the diamond. He said, why is the diamond not pure? The monk asks. He says, no, the diamond is pure. He said, then why don't you want it? You'll become a very rich man. He said, no, I don't want this diamond. I can't sleep nowadays because I cannot imagine how you give me this diamond without thinking, without flinching, without pausing. He says, I want that which made you give me this diamond. What is that which you have within? So that monk has something within which is greater than the diamond. So this is what we need to learn. The inner peace, the contentment, the attitude of course, we have to be practical people. We cannot be just, sitting and meditating. We have to work. We have to balance our lives. We'll be very successful if we can do so. Over to you, Atul, for the rest of the words from you and also a video on Shulini. And then we can probably have the two gentleman back for his discussion.
Thank you very much, Vivek. I think I'd like to add one last thing and end with the word inspiration. I'd like to share a small story about Winston Churchill, and you all know who Churchill was. After the Second World War, there was a famous debate in the British Parliament, and Churchill was asked, "What do we do now?" And he delivered a brilliant speech, and the speech's title was "Put the Gardens in Place." What Churchill was really saying is that gardens, architecture, great teachers create inspiration. And as a nation that has inspiration will rebuild itself into a great nation. So as we think about success for ourselves, we think about success for our students, I would say, let's bring inspiration into all of us. Let's bring inspiration into our students. Let's bring inspiration to people around us. Let's not talk about negative things. Let's all start spending time in our gardens. Let's start planting roses everywhere, and the world will be a much better place, and we all need it now. I'm going to show a small video of Vivek that I actually did over the weekend. I put some pictures together to tell you the story of Shulini. If you allow me, I'm going to play this.
Please, please.
I hope you guys will get inspired the way I did while making this small little video. That was fun stuff that I did over the weekend. But you know, the best compliment I've ever got, Vivek, is from you. I remember when you last came to Shulini, you told me that I see such happy students and such happy people around.
Yes.
And I really love this comment because we all, most of the time, keep talking about how many of our students got into IIT or, you know, what sort of scores they got. Ultimately, it's about happiness, and happy people are successful. And that's what I'm going to end the session. I'm going to love any questions that all of you have. I'll request Bhatnagar sir and Guleria sir to come onto the panel, and we'd love to have a little bit of discussion amongst ourselves as we get towards the closure of this webinar. So Bhatnagar sir and Guleria sir, if you could unmute yourself and come on screen. And as that's happening, Vivek, I wanted to speak a little bit about, you speak about meditation all the time. When you think about happiness and you think about success, you are such a calm person, right? I mean, tell us the role of meditation.
Yeah, it's a very, very important role. I find in myself a change over the last 10 years or 12 years, and meditation has helped me immensely. I have actually found myself handling situations much better. Every morning and evening, I sit and meditate. Wife and I, we are doing Kriya Yoga. And Kriya Yoga is actually the path which Paramahansa Yogananda ji also elaborated upon and disseminated the teachings. It is very, very important to follow Kriya Yoga. For us, we meditate twice a day, and we are able to do a lot of things throughout the day, which give us a lot of calmness and energy because of that meditation. And meditation is something which you can do apart from your prayers. Meditation and prayers are two different things. Sitting in silence and focusing on God is meditation. And there are some techniques. So the YSS of India website, I will write down if those of you want to start meditating. You can find your own path, but this is one of them. We'll share it with you.
I think one of the success for DAV also is the spirituality of the institution. I think there's so much spirituality out there, and that's why the school and the students do so wonderfully well. That's always true. You know, before I get Guleria sir and Bhattagar sir into a couple of questions I have, Vivek, you know, one question that teachers always keep on asking us is, you know, there's so much stress nowadays. You know, they have to manage online learning and they have to manage their families. They have to, you know, take care of the children, mothers-in-law, cook food. What do they do? How do they manage the stress? What do you think about it?
Absolutely. You know, teachers are multi-dimensional people. They have a lot of responsibilities. They are full of work at home, work in school, and they have to take online classes nowadays. They also have other responsibilities. Ladies have more than men, and we must understand that ladies have a lot more to do. But I think the way to do it is to take out a little bit of time for yourself. If you are able to recharge your batteries by reading a book, by meditating, by doing your hobbies, maybe your hobby is stitching, or maybe it is writing, or maybe it is painting, whatever it is, please do that. That will give you more energy for the rest of the day. And then prioritize whatever else you have to do, give more time to whatever is more important. That's how you can handle.
So Guleria sir, how do you manage your stress? आप क्या करते हैं?
Sir, little bit I go for yoga, as well as the most important things to manage is to plan. If we plan our work in a proper way, definitely the stress and strain, they will stay away.
I
And,
think so beautifully said. Please go ahead. Please continue.
and the next one thing is there that it's the attitude that you are taking everything positively, you are optimist. Definitely, it will inspire you. Once you are inspired, definitely you will never feel that you are under stress. So I think these are the way that keep yourself positive, be optimist, and always full of inspiration. And this stress and strain, they will stay away from you.
वंडरफुल भट्टागर सर, आपके फेस पे बहुत चमक है, ग्लो है स्पेशल. आप क्या करते हैं? कुछ तो जादू है.
Khosa Saab, first of all, I'm very, when Mr. Vivek Atray was on the mic,
We are losing you, Bhattagar sir. I think voice नहीं आ रही आपकी.
now my voice is okay.
हाँ जी, it's okay sir.
So before I focus on your question, may I have something to speak on Vivek Atray's words?
Please sir, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm really, he spoke very, he gave the subtle points, especially when we talk about the inspiration. You see, my white beard, my, this gray hair, the best example that for the last 30 years, how many students I have experimented with. Those who are even at the nadir point in studies, I used to give them only one thing in the mind, that don't develop any negative attitude. Because in today's world, when I did my post-graduation, may I have, sir, Khosa Saab?
Yes.
May I
sir.
speak something? Yeah. Because
Please.
Because until unless you expose your own example to students, you cannot be an icon for them. You cannot be a role model for them. if you only focus with them only the textual material that is available in the Google, but you have to present your example. So I'm coming back. So you see, I used to tell them that you must have positive attitude. Never, never give up. Because so far your education studies, your studies is concerned, as I was just quoting example, when I did my post graduation, we had only one university in Himachal, that is HP University Shimla. And today, I think there are 16 to 20 universities, I feel. I don't know if my data is correct or incorrect.
I think there are 22 universities.
22 universities. So now you see, there is a mushroom growth of institutions. Education is available. But what is not available, that is the pat from the teacher. That is the inspirational Midas touch of the teacher. And I tell you one thing, that gives me that gives me extreme happiness. As what Vivek Atray has told, it is just a matter of only 50 days back. I was sitting in my couch when I got a call from Kishtwar, Kashmir, J&K. Sir, I am Suresh Kumar speaking. If you get a call from a stranger, you have to ask a question. Who is Suresh Kumar? Sir, I am your ex-student when you were my teacher at BSF school in Gwalior. Because I started my career as a teacher in BSF school, Gwalior, Tekanpur Academy. So I told him, yes, please go ahead. Then he told me that, sir, I am a commandant. I am a commandant in CRPF. Now, how did you get my number? Then he told me, sir, nothing is impossible in this world. I got your number from my fellow friends now who are highly placed, and we always remember you. You see, he's just started narrating the entire story because I was a warden also. And when he joined that institution, he was in 6th standard. From 6th standard to 12th standard, where a teacher had not to play his role as a teacher, materialistic teacher, a father, a mother, guardian, an angel, a guide, a counselor, a doctor, many, many roles. So when a particular individual is playing, multi roles, definitely your pet, definitely your motivation, definitely your blessing, that comes true. That what Suresh Kumar is presently today. So I very strongly agree with Vivek ji that inspiration and motivation, it plays a very important role. I hope these are the very two important roles. Second thing, you have asked me that what makes me, I never grudge at all. I never postpone. I know that you have given me the, again, I'm coming with quoting my example of my personal life. Because other day Mr. Guleria, I'm thankful to Mr. Guleria, who's my cluster head also. So he sent me, sir, there is a workshop on life skills and from Shul University. I simply asked, what is my role? So, sir, you will be one of the panelists over there. And if any question is discussed, then you please come forward. Because as and when there is any kind of discussion, my inner soul comes to the, it comes to life after slumber. So I told, okay, you sponsor my name. So
lovely.
So you were telling me what is it? Though it was, Mr. Vivek Atray has written a very good book. So to go through the entire book is not a very easy job. But I started reading the reviews of the book. Then I learned that Mr. Vivek has touched the most vital and important part of students' life. Because when we look at the present age, you said there is a transformation because of technology. I think, do you all agree? And because of this transformation, students is facing problems at three fronts: home front, work front, and where he will be working. Home front also, because home front, work front, and today's his ambition. That is also one of the part. And the other thing that becoming an impediment in his life, that today's because of this, the pandemic also. So all these in this scenario, when the student having such kind of, the problems, you can say the problematic environment or a problematic atmosphere, he needs that to come out of to cope up with this stress and this strain and this frustration. So, person like me, I will definitely say, look, these are the part and the parcel. One has to face it, because until unless you face the challenge, you cannot look at the prosper side of your life. So my the moment Mr. Guleria told me, immediately I read his book, some of the reviews. Then I just started finding out that how we can make this discussion something innovative and creative, right? Other thing, you ask me that how do you feel, how do you keep this glow on the face? Because I give some priorities. I have given this priority to your discussion today. I want that my my presence should be felt. Ideally, it should be felt. It should not be, I should not be a spectator. I should not be a stony figure. I must come out with some idea. I should gather some ideas. So these are some 4 ways, 5 ways you should say that makes me a very satisfied and a very happy person. I'm just concluding it. When I happen to look at the area, recently something happened in Himachal, with the recent news of the corruption. I was just discussing. I was discussing the same with my family and with my children. Now look, what is a need of a person? If you happen to see in today's, the COVID-19 environment, what is our need? Everybody is wanting to be safe. Everybody wanted to be with his kith and kin. Everybody wants that he should be away from all this kind of disease. Should I think about money? Should I think about other materialistic thing? But there are people who's having, multi bank accounts, the buildings, multi crore rupees, so many things, and even then they are not satisfied. So person who is not satisfied with all these materialistic things. So how we can find glow on his face? So I have already kicked all these things, because happiness comes to only those people who shun all these things, who are away from all these things. So my happiness, the reason of my happiness is that I always keep myself positive. Okay, hoga yaar. If today is Shulin University, no doubt, I will just give my valuable point. So positive energy is there, and then I do. I go I get up in the 5 go for a walk. Until unless I complete my both times walks, I don't get satisfaction. So these are, and very pure vegetarian. Read good books. Read good good things. Share good things. And after meeting you all, again my energy level is going high. So Khosla Sahab, I have given you my the
Thank you.
basic things which I'm enjoying and which I will enjoy, and which I have just shared with you. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
So very well said, sir. आपने जिंदगी का सार 2 minute में दे दिया. I think that is so beautiful, so lovely. Vivek, I'll again request the teachers to please ask any questions if you have any, or just comment. We truly appreciate that. But Vivek, when we were in the last seminar, I think one question that came about was especially for the teachers and for the students, where students come to teachers and ask them, how do we choose? We all know that choosing the right college, university becomes most important, because that's what's going to give them success. That's what's going to give them the creativity, inspiration, all the things that you, Guleria sir and Bhatnagar sir spoke about, values. So how should a student go about choosing the college or the university that he or she wants to study? What's your mantra? How did you go about doing it?
I think teachers should also be aware of this point. It's very important how to guide and advise students on what to do in future. And students will always come to the teachers, sir, ma'am, where should I go? What should I do? So as we have been discussing in these webinars, we have talked about the fact that the institution is more important perhaps than the course. And where you go is more important than what you do. Of course, it is important to choose a stream which is comfortable for you. Like if you're good at maths, then you do engineering, or you do commerce or something related to maths. And if you are good at humanities, then obviously you do English or something like that. The thing is that you have to take an overview of universities available, study them, find out about them, how is the faculty there, how is the environment, how is the infrastructure. And if you just now Atul Khoslaji has told you that Sholini is ranked #1 in Himachal, so it should be #1 preference for Himachal students. And also I feel that you have to look at the long term, and the students have to be told that please look at the bigger picture. It's not only the first year of getting admission. After 3 years or after 5 years or whatever, you're out of that institution, then another 40 years to go, or 50, 60 years to go of your life. So then you have to really look at things like bigger picture. Where am I going to be after that? What is my route map? And of course, tell the students that all decisions can't be taken today. Be positive, be cheerful, be creative. Atul mentioned creativity. I mean, creativity should be taught in the sense that they should be encouraged to be creative, and then they can take the right decisions.
So well said. As you were talking, I was just thinking, all of us have had some point of inflection where our lives changed for the better. We became more happy, we were more successful. So, Guleria sir, what was the inflection in your life? What was that one defining moment that changed your life?
It sometimes depends upon the situation. Some people, those who are well prepared and they have a strong determination. But sometimes wherever you are, you may be by chance. Sometimes the circumstances, they also matters. And most important thing is that the clarity of your aim. If you are not clear about your aim at the moment when you have to decide for something, you may be anywhere where the babes they may carry you. But I strongly believe that one must having some objective and strong determination and have to build up the confidence. If you are confident, you have some trust within yourself, definitely you can do a wonder. I would like to share one example of my real life. I and my friend, Mr. Arvind, now he is a doctor here, having a private clinic, and he is PG from uh, PGI Chandigarh. So he left the admission in B.Ed course. Both of us were a good friend during graduation. We enrolled in a B.Ed, but at that moment, something struck to him. Yes, I will not go for B.Ed. I have adopted this stream of medical science to be a doctor. And he decided, yes, I have to withdraw my admission, and he withdrew. So then for the next year, he did not have any admission in any college. Second year again, after graduation, it was very difficult to wait for 2 or 3 years. Again, he not having an admission. In a third year, he got selection in 5 medical colleges, and he opted for the IGMC Simla. And after completing his bachelor degree, he gets selected for the PG from one of the famous institute of Northern Region, PGI Chandigarh. So it's a determination. If you are strongly determined, definitely you can have. But when we people compromise, definitely we have to compromise throughout the life. So have a objective and be adhere to your objective, be strongly determined, work hard, definitely success will be there. So
I think I also heard the word courage in this, because
yes,
you need the conviction and the courage to do what your friend did. So amazing story. Vivek, why did you leave the IAS? I mean, what was the defining point in your life? I mean, clearly I can see you glowing much more than what you were when I knew you when you were in the IAS. Tell us about, what you were at the peak of your career. You could have become a chief secretary, or this is the time in the 50s when you become very senior in the IAS and you left everything to become a motivational speaker. What made you do that?
Yeah, so at the age of 50, I realized that I am, perhaps even before that, I realized that I am a speaker, and I used to speak in service at various places. I used to get good reception from people, good feedback. And then a few things happened where I realized that colleagues' children are depressed. Somebody took an extreme step of also, and then I saw in my own family some children who were not talking to their parents, I mean extended family. So then, I realized that this is something that students need, especially. So motivation and inspiration and guidance and telling them what really matters in life. So I realized being an ex-IAS officer, they will listen to me more. If I talk to them, they will listen to me more. And I should resign and go and speak every as much as I can instead of once a month or once in 2 months. So I started doing this more. Plus, I realized that I am too creative now, perhaps for the government, and I want to write creatively. I want to think creatively. I became a little bit of a thought leader. So these kinds of things are not appropriate for governance. But I think I'm enjoying this quite a lot. You're right.
I'm thinking about a very exciting question, a naughty question from all of you. What's the most exciting thing you did today?
Me, okay. Most exciting thing I did today is this webinar actually, because I had another webinar. there was another webinar where we were talking about pollution control and environment, which is great, but it wasn't as participative and we didn't have such interesting personalities. And the rest of the time, it was lovely. I spent time with the family. I did some writing. I did some. By the way, Atul, we must talk about Horasis. That online conference is coming this time. So I filled up a registration for that. So I think this is the most exciting part of the day.
Wonderful. What about you, Bhatnagar sir? What did you do most exciting today?
Yeah. You see, Mr. Vivek Atray has rightly spoken the way you have organized this webinar. Otherwise, I was keeping this time slot for my rest.
Well, I'll try to believe that we did a good job then.
Yeah,
if you're saying that.
Really. And one more thing I just told you, because this is my passion rather to have discussion and to meet rather. But if we are meeting people through electronic gadgets and all these through media, and I am upgrading myself, meeting, upgrading, and then you have organized it. I think this is the best job you have done. And I really can sacrifice so many things. If you are organizing such things every day, I'm there with you.
Wonderful. So Shikha, I hope you're there. So we actually do it every day. So Vivek and I religiously speak to teachers and students every day. Like I said, we've covered more than 30,000 teachers and more than, I think, 50,000 students now. It's just a passion to speak to teachers and students every day. But Nagar sir, so we'll welcome you to the club. So we'll also get you into the journey.
Thank you.
So amazing. So I did, I got up early and I baked a cake today, Vivek.
Again, no, wow.
Oh.
Absolutely. So my mom used to always cook food for me. So I promised her I'm going to bake a banana cake, which I did today, and I gifted that to her, and she was so excited. And of course, for me also, I get so much energy.
I hope it is not your birthday today.
No, sir, my birthday is way over, but I'm learning to cook a little. I think it gives me a lot of happiness.
Yeah,
so
culinary, culinary. This idea we should also develop, and this is the best time that when you can not only the cooking part, in other various, the various ways and means are there where you can be.
It helps you be creative, and doing something for others gives so much happiness and success. So we're coming to an end, Vivek. It's 1 minute left. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go around the table and ask each one of you to just speak one sentence. You're not allowed to speak more than one sentence. Any last thoughts, Guleria ji? Just one sentence.
Yes, sir. I would like to thanks Mr. Vivek Atray. He has continue to motivating the younger generation to adopt cheerful, positive, and multidimensional approach, as well as to yourself that you have organized this webinar and made all the faculty members of DAV as well as your university member to come on this one platform and motivating you all to change the attitude, because it is rightly said कि नजरिया बदले अगर बदल जाएगा तो नज़ारे खुद ब खुद बदल जाएंगे. If we change our attitude, definitely everything will be changed for us. With this, I like to end. Thank you very much, sir.
Bhatnagar sir,
so I would like
your
like
one
to,
sentence.
I would like to conclude first of all my thanks to Vivek Atray ji, who along with you brought us on this platform and had a nice meeting with you all. And I'm very confident, rather very hopeful that you will be giving us opportunity in the time to come also. Best thing that you are doing in the field of education. I wish you all the best. First of all, you are really doing a very wonderful and exemplary things, because students they need not only the education, they need something more, which you are already pursuing for that. So wish you all the best, Khosla Saab, and my gratitude and thanks to Vivek Atray ji. I hope next time when we will be having another meeting, we will come out with more sterling and the brilliant and prominent ideas.
Surely.
Thank
Absolutely.
you. Thank you, sir.
There is one question, Vivek, and I have to request you to answer this. Jeevan sir is asking, what is the parameter to judge success? It may vary from individual to individual.
I agree.
I
with
think
you.
I have to have you answer this question.
Yes, I agree with you, Jeevan sir. There is no parameter which says that 100 out of 100 on success. It is your inner feeling that matters. Some person may have achieved more, is still not feeling content. Another person may have achieved less, is happy with that, and is trying to do his best. I think that person is more successful. So we can only compare, we cannot have absolutes. And a person who is content, calm, and cheerful, and positive and happy will be more successful.
Thank you, Vivek. Lots of thanks you coming. Gunjan ma'am and Rupali
The
ma'am
teachers
and
also.
Mehek ma'am have sort of saying thanks. So thank you to all of you for being such a wonderful audience. Again, once on behalf of Shulani, I'm thankful to Guleria sir, to Bhattnagar sir and Vivek for this absolutely wonderful webinar. I'm getting goose pimples talking to all of you, just shows the energy that all of us had. I so wish this was in real, in person. But Vivek and I promised that we'll come over to your schools and we'll love to do this with students and teachers in person. And we'd also love to invite all of your teachers and students to Shulani. We have a beautiful campus. We're doing some very amazing stuff. We're trying to do a lot of work online. We moved into a virtual environment as quickly as we could. We've just finished our exams for the final semester. Our next semester is going to start 1st of August. Whether it is going to be off campus or on campus, we don't know, but that's our passion, to think outside the box always, and we'd love to invite all of you. So once again, thank you very much, teachers. Thank you, Vivek, Guleria sir, Bhattnagar sir. Be safe, wish you good luck, and I'm going to request Shikha to reach out to you again. Hopefully in the next couple of weeks, we can come back with another topic and another amazing discussion. Thank you.
Thank you very much all.
Thank you.
Stay connected.
Thank you, Guleria ji. Thank you.
Good day.
Good day.